So don't you give me your false equivalences and your hypocrisy when you voted for the orange turd, because you are a turd and you're also a coward for hanging up the phone.
Listen, so you have a problem with J.D. Vance because he didn't defend his family.
Sure.
But yet, no, you don't have a problem with Gavin Newsom, and he had an affair with his campaign manager's wife. That's amazing to me.
Did I ever speak about that? And then he hangs up the phone. What an idiot.
Yeah, but how is that? That's a false equivalent.
Yeah, well, first of all,
that's like saying you don't like apples, but what about oranges?
So Herb is a coward. If he's not a coward, he will call back because we did not hang up on him. So here's what I was going to say to Herb. Herb, have I ever defended Gavin Newsom in his personal life with those sexcapades? Have I ever defended that? Have I ever praised it? No. See, I'm going to educate.
And he's not your family.
I'm going to educate Herb, and it's very difficult to educate someone who is severely uneducated. And I'm going to make a similar reference to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton did some cheating. He did some bad things. If Bill Clinton's in the Epstein files,
apparently
so be it. So be it. I don't defend Gavin Newsom, his personal life, but I will tell you this much. Okay. I would vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance for a lot of different reasons. I don't defend that sort of personal behavior, but I can tell you right now, I don't believe that if somebody mocked or made fun of Gavin Newsom's wife for her race, that Gavin Newsom would defend the person who made those statements. J.D. Vance did. That's what we were speaking of. I don't defend anybody that has, had infidelities with a husband or wife, and I never will. But that's the difference between me and you,
It's a
Herb.
False equivalent.
And by the way, Herb is a coward because you hung up the phone, Herb. By the way, Herb, has Gavin Newsom ever raped a woman before? Has Gavin Newsom ever been found liable for sexual abuse? Has anyone accused Gavin Newsom of rape? Is Gavin Newsom a 34-count felon? Has Gavin Newsom ever bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms while they were changing? Has Gavin Newsom ever bragged about sexual assault? The answer is no. So don't you give me your false equivalences and your hypocrisy when you voted for the orange turd, because you are a turd and you're also a coward for hanging up the phone.
He waited on hold all that time just to make a comment and hang up?
Yep. That's Herb for you.
Is he a MAGA?
The MAGA base, everybody. Lauren, why is it that you cannot differentiate the difference? Go ahead. Lauren? Okay. He hung up the phone like the coward that he is. Lauren, you're a coward.
I've heard a comment that the majority of people are being sent to El Salvador.
I didn't say that.
That's simply not true.
I didn't say that. Where did I say the majority of the people?
I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did, Brian.
There were 260 people, give or take a few, that were sent to the El Salvador prison.
Right. The vast majority are being sent to their home of origin.
Okay, but does that still make it right? Does that still make it right? Does that still make it right, though, that there are people that are being sent to, whether it be an El Salvador prison or a high maximum security prison? That doesn't make it right, though, just because it's not the majority.
I think it's dependent on what they were charged with.
Not true. What was Garcia charged with?
My understanding was trafficking.
No, there were no charges filed in the United States of America. He was never convicted of a crime. So let me ask you a question. In this country,
he wasn't convicted of a crime.
He wasn't charged. He wasn't charged with trafficking in the United States. I want to ask you this, though. So let me ask you.
He was here illegally.
Okay, so if you're here illegally, you're okay with somebody being sent to the highest maximum security prisons in the world. You're okay with that?
We'll find out, I guess.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you a moral. Lauren, I'm asking you a moral.
It's got nothing to do with moral.
Yes, it does, and I'll tell you why.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You are saying you are okay with someone who has lived in this country for decades, that has never committed a violent crime in their life, to be treated like a violent criminal and be sent to a high maximum security prison in another country, in some cases, not the country of their origin, where they are originally from, where they are in cells, where they have one meal a day, where they are outside of their prison for 30 minutes a day, treated like somebody that is on death row. And Lauren, you mean to tell me that you are okay with someone who doesn't have the right paperwork, that might be in this country illegally, not having the right to due process, never committed a violent crime in their life, and being treated worse than someone in this country that's on death row. You're telling me with a straight face that you're okay with that?
I'm telling you that it has been the policy of the two.
I'm not asking you about policy.
I'm answering your question, Brian, if you allow me to answer it.
Well, you're not answering it, but go. I didn't ask you about policy.
I am answering it. Barack Obama did the same exact thing as far as using administrative procedures.
No, he didn't.
Check it out.
Tell me. You're telling me. Hold on. You're making the case, Lauren, that Barack Obama. Lauren, I need you to focus. Lauren, you're not listening. I need you to stop.
No, you're not listening,
hey,
Brian.
Well, guess what? It's my show, not yours. So now it's your turn to listen. I didn't say deportations because morons who don't listen to my words, Lauren, with respect, you're one of them. You're not listening. I didn't say deportations. You just brought up Barack Obama deporting 3 million people. I wasn't complaining about deportations. You're not listening. Your problem is you don't listen. I'm specifically talking about the specific deportations of non-violent criminals with no due process that are being sent to the highest maximum security prisons in the world. You are wrong. Barack Obama did not do that. It's one thing to deport somebody to their home country. It's another thing to arrest somebody that's been in this country for decades that has no violent criminal record and send them to an El Salvador prison where they don't see the light of day and they could be there for the rest of their life. Lauren, why is it that you cannot differentiate the difference? Go ahead. Lauren. Okay. He hung up the phone like the coward that he is. Lauren, you're a coward. You hung up the phone because you're a coward. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I did not hang up the phone on Lauren. Lauren's the one who hung up. What Lauren tried to do, and what many of these MAGA morons try to do when they don't have facts to back up their opinions, they try to compare Barack Obama and the deportations to Donald Trump. Barack Obama did not deport people without due process, sending them to an El Salvador prison or some of the highest maximum security prisons in the world. Barack Obama never did that. That was the point I was trying to make with Lauren. Do you notice how Lauren wouldn't answer the question? When I put them and pin them in a corner and I say, are you okay with nonviolent criminals being treated like animals, sent to some of the highest maximum security prisons in the world? They want to bring up Barack Obama because they can't defend the indefensible. Lauren has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. And then when I call him out on it and give him facts, he hangs up the phone. Typical MAGA buffoon. I hear, Al just hung up the phone. It's interesting. I asked him the same question 10 times, Leonard, and he wouldn't answer the question because he couldn't, because he knows the answer is no, they haven't done anything.
And I want to call you out on two things. Number one, Republicans have been suggesting metal detectors. We're going to be having them here in Clark County School District. Yeah, they're not 100% correct, but there is no law that you can create that's going to be 100%.
I never said. When have I ever said that there is a law that would fix all the problems?
No. Well, the problem is the guy just told you about metal detectors, and he said,
"Okay, so let me ask you a question
because they're going to go through the window."
Sure. So let me.
So you want something 100%?
No, I don't want. No, I don't want. No, I don't want something 100% because I would never make a stupid statement like that. How? Okay, so
well, that's what you just
riddle me this.
What did you mean by that?
Riddle me.
What did you mean by I will. Not being
I will
able to go to the window.
Okay, I will.
What did you mean by that?
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to let me answer, or are you going to keep screaming? No, don't hang up on him. Okay, Al. Here's what I mean by that. So somebody like you, I'll speak very slowly and distinctly, so somebody like you maybe can understand. Maybe. I'm holding hope, Al. Let's go with the Uvalde shooting. By the way, I just said on the show with Leonard that I'm not against it, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I didn't say I was against it. What I did say, and I stand by my statement. Now, this is where you have to take the MAGA wax out of your ears and listen. What I did say was Uvalde shooting, for example, or even the shooting yesterday. If you do have metal detectors and someone's willing to risk their own life, kill themselves to kill innocent people, they're probably not going to go through that metal detector, or they'll shoot through a window or door. We both can be right.
Yeah, well,
Hold on. I'm not against metal detectors. Now let me ask you a question. Would metal detectors have stopped the October 1 shooting in Las Vegas?
No, but we're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about schools right
Oh,
now.
okay.
We're
Okay.
talking about
What did I
schools.
say that
And
doesn't
yeah,
make
it would've-
sense?
It would have.
The bellhop
A metal
helped him
detector
carry
would
his
have
guns
helped
up.
if they
Okay,
were having at the casino.
Al, hang on a second. We're not talking about casinos. Let's go to the Uvalde, Texas shooting, shall we? An 18-year-old just shot his grandmother in the face. Do you mean to tell? And by the way, he didn't go through a front entrance either. He went through a back door. If that back door was locked, he would have shot it down, I guarantee you. Can you please explain to me?
Can I ask a question on that? Because in my home, it shows when every door is locked and when every door is open. So the school didn't have, they don't even have a security measure that shows you the door is open. I mean,
I agree.
What is that? A couple of $100s?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Al, can you please explain to me what I said that is not logical? Where do you disagree with me, Al?
All I'm trying to tell you, okay, this is the impression that I got on this side of the equation, okay, is that you're against, maybe you've clarified it, and that's why I called in.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean now I've clarified it? 5 minutes ago, I just said, quote, I'm not against metal detectors. Why do you just assume
No, you said that.
I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would help a great deal, but I'm not against it. Now let me ask you a question. Other than Republicans,
let me say something that I wanted to say.
You're giving Republicans. You're giving Republicans credit. Oh, they want to pass metal detectors. Can you name me anything Republicans have done in 20 years to lower gun violence in this country? Because I could name you a laundry list of things that Democrats have done. What the hell? What the hell? You're a Republican.
That wasn't the point of my call.
That's the point of my question. I know that's not the point of your call. You're trying to defend Republicans, and I'm asking you a question, doofus. Answer the question. What have Republicans done nationally in this country in the last 20 years to lower gun violence?
Who do you think the metal detector laws over here? Here in Clark County.
Let's just assume.
Okay. All right. So the point is this. Okay.
Yeah. What is your point?
The point is this.
Yeah, please.
The point is this. We're talking about metal detectors in school to slow things down. That was my point. I don't think it's going to solve it 100%.
Correct.
The point that I was going to try to make, I think it's going to slow it down.
Okay. So
that's all I can think.
Al, one other question.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. And that Republicans have been talking about it.
Al, help me out here, and then I want Leonard to take over. But Al, help me out here, okay? Other than your claim that Republicans have voted for metal detectors in schools, can you give me something on a national platform? For instance, something that Donald Trump did, that the man that you voted for, something that Republicans have done on a national level that you think will lower the gun violence in this country? Because on the contrary, they're making it easier for Republicans to get for people to get their hands on guns. Ron DeSantis passing a law that felons in 8 years could legally purchase firearms. They're making it easier for people to get guns. What the hell have Republicans done on a national scale to lower gun violence?
Let me tell you, first of all, you're a moron. Okay.
Okay. Why?
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Why am I a moron?
Get the liberal earwax out of your ears.
What did I say?
My point of my phone call
was
metal detectors in school.
So you don't want to answer the question.
He doesn't want off the rails.
Okay, hold on. Okay, first of all, I'm not going off the rails. We're talking about gun control, and if you want to go ad hominem attacks on me, I don't mind that at all. But you got to back it up. You see, Al, this whole show isn't just about metal detectors and the two Republicans you claim that might have helped pass metal detector laws in Las Vegas or Clark County. We're talking about gun control and gun violence in the country. So I'm going to ask it one more time, and let's see if Doofus can answer it. What have Republicans done in the last couple decades? I'm giving you a 20-year window. Nationally, what bills have they put on the books that they pushed for that actually lowered gun violence in this country, or even you believe helped lower gun violence, besides some metal detector thing in Clark County? What have they done nationally? What has Donald Trump done, the orange doofus that you voted for? What has he done, and what have national Republicans...
And they do not support red flag laws.
Exactly. What have they done, Al? I'm not going off the rails. Answer the question.
Sir, again, the answer, the reason I called was about metal detectors.
You're a coward. You're a coward. You're a coward.
What's he going to say? There's nothing
I'm going to talk to somebody
You're a coward.
I haven't done my research on.
You haven't done your. I'm off the rails.
No, I've done my research, and you don't have.
In the crazy train, you're part of it.
Right. Okay, go ahead, Leonard. Yeah, I'm the crazy train.
I only brought up the metal detectors as a starting point.
Right.
I was not speaking in terms of solving the problem. And then Brian gave us some alternatives. What about if they take a different path? What about if they, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere. And, and I can't understand for the life of me why anybody would be against, other than the money.
No, Al, I'll do the research for you. Nothing. Republicans nationally have done nothing, because unlike you, I know what I'm talking about.
And they will not pass a red flag.
And you want to bring up this anecdotal, right, they won't pass red flag laws or anything. But yet you seem to continue to defend Orange Turd, the liable sexual abusing 34-count felon. He did nothing. Let me tell you what happened after October 1. And this should be personal to Leonard, and I'm sure it is. Donald Trump flew out here to Vegas for his photo op. He spent an hour in a hospital taking pictures with people, and then he left town. Okay. And then he met with the leader of the NRA at the time, the guy who I think stole money from the organization. Okay. He was going to pass this bump stocks thing, which I don't think anybody could make their own bump stock if you know anything about guns. And he wanted to be a champion for that. And then he was against it because he met with the leader of the NRA. Donald Trump, just like you're a coward and you want to answer the question. So I'm going to answer it for you. Hey, Al, Republicans have done nothing nationally to address this issue. They say more guns make us safer. You're probably one of those idiots that believes that, okay? They think more guns make us safer. They think kindergarten teachers should be armed with weapons.
They do think.
Why don't you just answer the question honestly and say, you know what, they haven't done anything. Just like you. They haven't done anything. Why don't you just answer the question?
Okay, can I answer now? Can I talk? Or am I off hold here over here?
Yeah, it's my show and not yours, doofus.
Okay, sir. It's your show. Okay, that's the problem with
you want to talk about metal detectors again?
People on, and you don't let them talk.
I've kept you on for 10 minutes now, doofus.
Maybe
wait, calm down. You're right.
He's been on the longest out of anybody.
I don't have an answer. I'm now asking you the same question for the 10th time. I answer any question that anybody asks me on this show. No, I'm asking you the same question, and I'm going to give you one more opportunity since you just claimed I don't ask the question. I'm now going to ask you for the 10th time, and this will be the last time, okay? What have Republicans done on a national level, including Donald Trump and any Republican president or any national figure that is an elected official that's a Republican? What have they put on the books in the last 20 years that you believe have saved lives when it comes to gun control? And don't say metal detectors. Go. I hear crickets.
Well, we gave him his time.
I hear Al just hung up the phone. Aw, it's interesting. I asked him the same question 10 times, Leonard, and he wouldn't answer the question because he couldn't, because he knows the answer is no, they haven't done anything. That is your typical MAGA clown.
My only point on the metal detectors was maybe we shouldn't take such a big bite, because if you want to pass, I mean, look at this state. Last year, we almost had a supermajority in the assembly. We missed by one. This year, supermajority in the assembly. Missed in the Senate, supermajority by one. So we have a lot of control. The Democrats have a lot of control. But how come nothing ever passes or gets addressed?
I'm so glad that Al called in, because that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There are not a lot of people that are intellectually honest on the far right when it comes to this issue. The answer is nothing. Okay. Now, if Al just said, I don't know of anything, I would have respected that answer because he would be lying. Instead, he dodged it. He avoided it. And he wanted to talk about metal detectors in Clark County.
Well, people call in with talking points, but the problem with the talking point is you don't really have the knowledge that surrounds it. That, you know, if you listen to one of the news stations and they're providing talking points, you don't have the knowledge that surrounds it.
Al, go ahead and call into one of your right-wing echo chamber radio shows with 4 listeners, and I'm sure they'll give you the time of day, but I won't.